Look, all kids are quirky. They all
Yeah.
have these funny little quirks that make them so lovable and so infuriating, but they're just their little quirks. They might be a busy child.
Yeah.
They might be a quieter, more sensitive child. They might be a child that likes everything in order. It's a weird order because it looks like a heck of a mess to me, but they know where every single thing is,
Yeah.
and that's their little quirk. Um, it might be a child who's a fiery one, that they're quite a fiery and feisty, and yeah, they came out the birth canal rolling up their sleeves, kind of thing. Other kids, their quirk is they're more easygoing, and so on and so on. All kids have got their quirk. But when life is booming and buzzing and moving too fast, and it is for so many kids now, we've normalized it, but it's way too much. It's way
Mm.
overwhelming. It's filling their little cups and it's just spilling it on over. What starts happening is that quirk becomes what I call an emotional fever or a
Mm.
soul fever. A
Yeah.
small s soul, not the religious one, but the soul, an inner fever. And that quirk, if it's a feisty one, starts to become controlling, um, and may even become like highly agitated,
Yeah.
uh, um, and really antisocial. Or if it's a child who's a movement child, they just love to move and they define themselves through movement, and they just hop and go skip children. They're always doing things. You just love it, like little butterfly kids, little papillons.
Yeah.
But if life is stressing them, they slide along a spectrum and become agitated. And they're the kids that get called hyperactive, ADHD.
Yeah.
Or a child who just likes things orderly. But when life is stressing them out and it's moving too fast, that's the child who'll slide along a spectrum and get called OCD,
Yeah.
obsessive compulsive disorder. There's no shortage of Ds, ODD, PDD, OCD, ACD,
Yeah.
ACD. Um, but the startling thing, and this is after hundreds of thousands of kids now. No kidding, I'm not exaggerating. That these little podcasts that I do are downloaded over 1 million times. This is a serious um, group of people who are questioning this now.
Yeah.
When we add simplicity to children's lives and we start to dial it back, and that tap that is pouring into the vessel of our children's lives, of all that we're pouring in on a daily basis, um, when we like, there's a decision to make. Do we want to mop up pathological spillage, ODD, ADD, OCD? And so on and so on? Do we want to keep mopping that up, or do we want to turn down the tap?
Yeah.
And now more and more and more parents are turning down the tap. And then what we see is that our kids go back to being quirky again. And so many parents have said to me, I feel like I've got my little boy back. I feel like I've
Yeah.
got my teenage girl back. I feel like they're back. But here's the thing, Heath, that is thrilling, is that the very same thing that potentially an inflamed quirk is a disorder,
Yeah.
a calmed quirk is their gift.
Mm.
That's their gift.
Yeah.
So the feisty child who was getting into all kinds of trouble at school. No one wanted to be his friend. He was so over controlling of games. He, she, or they were so over controlling of the games. Now they're fun to play with. They're just out of the box thinkers, and they don't try and control the game anymore at all. They just want it to be the funnerest it can be. I
Yeah.
love living in the United States. You guys just invent words. Funnerest.
But to me, it reminds me of the thought of like you could go to your doctor and be diagnosed with high blood pressure or something like that, and you could be offered a pill and take that for the rest of your life, or you could make some dietary changes, and all of a sudden, those markers go down and you're back to a healthy place. It's the same with children
It's the
and
same.
behavior and things. Yeah.
It's the same.